everyone. Welcome to yoga. Today, again, this class is for my Wednesday class. That is at 8 a.m., but of course, all is welcome, and I hope you enjoy class this morning. So we're actually just going to start seated in a forward fold. Okay, so just fold over your hips here. Drop your head, make it nice and heavy. You can even shake your head yes, shake your head no. Good, softening your shoulders down. Slowly roll up and place one hand on your abdominals and then your other hand on your low back. Okay, and it can be the back of your hand or the palm of your hand, whatever feels good with this arm back here. Okay, and then we're just gonna come into some just deep breaths here, seeing if you can breathe all the way into your diaphragm, into your belly, and close your eyes. Okay, and at first, you might start with just this upper chest breathing, okay? And that's okay, right? It's all for our practice, okay? So we're just practicing sending our breath down into our belly. And a good visualization for this is if you see any baby, when you watch them breathe, they breathe full body, okay? Because they're still in development, but they breathe fully, more fully than we do as adults because of life, stress, okay? Again, just those everyday stresses, okay? And, we can kind of relate and go back to as we were as a child, with less stress, a little more carefree. And just cultivating that spirit, that lightness. And we can start to find that here, even just in our breath. And again, you may only get a few good ones down into the belly, and that's okay, okay? Again, that's just something we're striving for this morning, just finding this deep belly breath. Okay, let's just take about 10 to 8 more rounds of breath here. Again, just slowing your breath down. Releasing your hands down, your arms down. Just pausing for a moment, bringing your hands together at your heart center. Setting an intention for your practice, maybe even an intention for the rest of your week. Good. Take a nice big deep inhale in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. Blinking your eyes open. And making your way into tabletop. Going on to hands and knees, and gently just right away start to move in and out of cat and cow. Connecting your breath to your movement now. And staying in any position a little bit longer. If you want to hold, cat for a little bit or cow for a little bit, go for it, okay? This is your practice. Waking up the body. Listening to what you need in this moment. Adding any other movement that feels good, any organic movement here. When you're ready, we'll make our way into child's pose. Big toes together, knees out nice and wide. And again, if this isn't accessible to you, you can go ahead and lift up, bringing your hips over your knees, and you can always lower down, onto your hands here. Just bringing, your head below your heart. Okay, good. And then from here, we'll come into thread the needle. So let's start with our left arm underneath your right. And again, you can also do this in tabletop position if that feels more comfortable on your knees and hips. Okay, so a couple different options here this morning. Good, and slowly switching sides. Right arm underneath your left, threading the needle. Gently unwind, and we'll make our way into downward facing dog. And again, take your time, there's no rush. Setting yourself up, making that and creating that upside down V position. And of course, feel free to pedal your feet out, sway your hips from side to side. And actually, let's go ahead and do that together, okay? So find a little bit of stillness, find your neutral downward dog. Inhale, lift your heels up towards the sky. Exhaling, drop your heels back down. Inhaling, lift your heels up. Exhaling, lowering your heels back down. Last one, inhale, lift your heels up. And exhale, lower your heels back down. Okay, good. This time we're gonna lift our heels up, and we'll shift them just gently over to the left, and then drop your heels down, and then you might get a nice little big stretch through this right side body here. You can even bend your left knee, your right knee, whatever feels good, okay? Good, and then come on up back to neutral. Okay, we'll reset, and we'll go to the other side. So heels lift, gently shift them over to the right, and then dropping your heels down. And again, any variation that felt good on the first side, try to take that same variation on the second side. Okay, great, and then slowly coming right back to neutral, downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths here. So inhale, fill up. Exhale, release. Good, inhale, fill up. Big exhale out. Take your time stepping, walking to the top of your mat. Feet will be hip distance apart, hanging onto opposite elbows, and gently just draping over your hamstrings, over your legs here. Releasing your arms down, slowly rolling up to come all the way up to standing, arms up over your head, and exhaling, hands at your heart center. Standing in mountain pose, reaching your arms up over your head. Let's grab our right wrist and gently just lean over to the left. Nice big side body stretch. Coming on up, switching sides, left wrist leaning over to the right. Inhaling, coming on up, and then exhaling, folding forward. Nice big forward fold. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Planting your hands, stepping back, plank pose. Okay, so our first plank, so we'll move nice and slow here. And again, you can always lower down onto your knees. You can lower down onto your forearms. Okay, good. Holding for 5 deep breaths here. Let your legs do a lot of the work. Connect with your breath. Press away from the floor. Find a little bit more lift with each breath that you take. Slowly lower all the way down onto your abdominals. And again, drop down to your knees. Let your chest touch first. Okay, coming up into Sphinx pose. Elbows and forearms down. Grounding down, and then really bring your chest through your arms. So you find this nice big action through your upper chest and your upper back. Okay, let's drop our left ear to our left shoulder. Head in line with your spine, switching sides, right ear to right shoulder. Bringing your head back in line, slowly lowering down, hands under your shoulders, maybe kind of somewhere in between your fingertips in line, you know, with your rib cage, and then totally under your shoulders. Okay, so find this happy medium right in between, and then roll your shoulders back, lift your head, your neck, and your chest up, and see if you can float your hands up off the mat. And again, try to really bring your hands back a little bit into space, ground your hands down. See if you can lift up a little bit higher, maybe press into your hands. Good, and then from here we'll lower down, coming back into child's pose. On your next inhale, downward facing dog. Walking your feet up to the top of your mat. Again, take your time. Feet will be hip distance apart. Hang on to opposite elbows. Gently rock from right to left. Little figure eights. Good. Relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders. Releasing your arms down. Coming on up, rolling on up nice and slow. Arms up over your head. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Same body stretch, okay? Arms up over your head. Grab your right wrist, gently lean over to the left side. Coming on back up to standing, switching, left wrist leaning over to the right. Good, coming on up, exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Okay, adding on here, inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, ground your hands down, okay? Step your right leg back behind you, coming into low lunge. Okay, soft landing, lower that back knee down onto your mat. Okay, pause here for a moment with your hands down. Roll your shoulders, lift your chest and your heart. Okay, engaging your abdominals, feeling a nice lift and groundedness through your feet. And again, remember, you don't want your knees, you don't want to be stacked up on your knees here, okay? You want to move this right knee back, okay? So if that means walking your left toes forward and shifting your hips forward, great. Or if it means kind of stepping and walking this right knee up, okay? So it's really just like picking your right knee up and moving it back, great, okay? And then again, you can always double up your mat. You can use towels, blankets to pad that knee if you need to, and slowly start to walk your hands up your left leg. Okay, pressing your hands down into your left quad. Again, roll your shoulders, lift your chest and your heart. You should feel a big stretch through this right hip flexor. Staying for 3 more deep breaths. Okay, arms lower down. Half split, Ardha Hamanasana. Shifting your hips over your right knee and slowly start to straighten this left leg as best you can. And again, if your knee's bent, that's totally fine. You'll still get a nice big hamstring stretch here. Flexing your toes up towards the sky. Left hip bumps in line with your right. Using your blocks under your hands. Okay, even books work as well too. We're not going to stay here too long because we're going to repeat this just a few times to help open up the backs of our legs. Good. Last breath, inhaling in here, bending back into your left knee. Tucking your right toes under, we'll step back, plank pose. Pausing here in plank for 3 deep breaths. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Okay, right leg lifts up towards the sky. Okay, use this right leg to help step you forward. So have a little bit of space here. You'll step your right foot forward, and you can always grab it, take it up to the top of your mat, and then step your left leg forward. And again, you can take as many steps as you need to, coming back into your standing forward fold. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly come all the way up to standing. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Inhaling, arms reach up. Interlacing your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders, lift your chest and your heart. Chest expansion here, diving forward. Soft bend in the knees as you dive forward, forward fold. Okay, good. Okay, let's go and lift this right shoulder up towards the sky. Bring your hands back into space. Good, and then switching sides. Lift your left shoulder up. Try to find Ardha Uttanasana in your spine, so find a little bit of lift here. Lower back down, lower your hands down. Okay, lift up halfway. Now left leg's going to step back, low lunge. Take your time. Nice soft landing, controlled landing, lowering your back knee down. And again, try not to stack up in your structure. You want to walk and bump this left knee back a little bit. Hands stay grounded, roll your shoulders, lift your chest and your heart. Engage your abdominals, breathe into this back body here. When you're ready, you'll slowly walk your hands up your right leg. Good, press your hands down into your right quad to lift your chest and your heart up a little bit more. And then really breathe into that left hip flexor. Even a little bit in the left quad if you're really tight. Good, hands lower down, shifting your hips back, Ardha Hamanasana, half split, and again, hips shift over your left knee, bump this right hip back so your hips stay nice and square, lifting your toes up towards the sky. Bend back into your right knee, tuck your left toes under, stepping back, plank pose. Okay, so here's our strength, connecting to our core, only holding here for 3 deep breaths. Count in your head, breathe slow. Okay, no quick breaths. You want nice, full, mindful breathing, just like we took at the beginning of class. Good, on your last breath, you'll press back, downward facing dog. Lifting your left leg up into the sky, okay? And then we're using this length here to help step your left foot forward, okay? And we're just leading with the left foot. So try to round your spine, step your left leg up, and again, use your hands to help you step up, and then take your time stepping this right foot in to meet your left, standing forward fold. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, folding forward, forward fold. Inhaling to slowly come up to standing. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Okay, same thing, we'll add on a few new poses. Inhaling, arms reach up over your head. Interlace your hands behind your back. Okay, we'll come into that chest expansion again. Soft knees, folding forward, forward fold. Releasing your arms down. Lengthen up halfway. Right leg steps back, again, low lunge, take your time. Back knee lowers down. Okay, right away, we're going to reach our arms up over our head. You can walk your hands up, your legs, staying here, maybe one arm, then the other. Good, 3 deep breaths. half split, hands lower down, hips shift back into space, toes up towards the sky. 3 deep breaths. Bending back into this left leg, twisting, right hand down, left arm up towards the sky. Okay, option to keep your back knee down onto the mat, or you can tuck your right toes under and lift your back knee up off the mat. Okay, so a couple different options, choosing what feels best for you. From here, left hand lowers down. This time we're gonna step forward, forward fold. Take your time. Again, take as many steps as you need to. Reach your hands forward to help launch you forward, forward fold. Lengthen up halfway. Switching sides right away. Left leg steps back, low lunge. Soft landing. Back knee lowers down. Taking your time to set yourself up to reach your arms up over your head. And again, you can take those steps. And then holding for 3 deep breaths. Half split, hands lower down, hips shift back, toes up towards the sky. And again, 3 deep breaths here. Just so we start to find the rhythm of our breath, the rhythm of our practice. Right knee bends, twisting. Left hand down, right arm up towards the sky. And again, staying down with the back leg, or tucking your toes under and lifting your back knee up off the mat, your choice. Hands lower down, stepping forward again, forward fold. Inhaling, lengthen up halfway. Exhaling, bowing down. Inhaling to slowly come all the way up to standing. Exhaling, hands at your heart center. Okay, good. Okay, let's stand with our feet together. Okay, reaching your arms up over your head. Okay, I know I'm a little bit out of the shot here, but we're going to interlace our hands, press them forward, and we're going to lift them up over our head, keeping your legs nice and straight. Okay, so palms are pressing up towards the sky. And again, staying here if you'd like, or you can start to come into a little bit of a balance by lifting your heels up off the mat. You can keep your focus, your gaze down to help you find your balance. Your heels don't have to be super high. They can be a little short, small heel. Good. Lowering your heels down, lowering your arms down. Moving into warrior one. Left leg steps back. Take your time. Your stance can be a little bit wider. Heels do not have to be in line with each other. You can walk this left foot out to the outer edge of your mat. Nice big bend in your right knee. And then have your hands on your hips. So again, you can kind of feel your hips gently shifting towards the top of your mat. They won't totally go square because your left heel is grounded. But the idea of kind of squaring off to the top of your mat, arms up over your head. Good, interlacing your hands again, pressing your palms forward this time, and then draw your arms back into space. Okay, good, releasing your arms down, hands back onto your hips. Straighten this right leg, and then bend back into your right knee. A little bit of balancing, straighten your right leg. Bend your right knee. Good, one more, straighten your right leg. Bend your right knee, and then try your best to step forward. Tadasana, mountain pose. Great, left side. Okay, I'm just gonna switch to the other side of my mat. You do not have to do that. You can stay at the top of your mat. Right leg steps back, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. And again, taking all those self-adjustments, feeling grounded through your left pinky toe, your left heel. Okay, good. Arms up over your head. Okay, interlacing your hands in front of you, pressing your palms forward. And then again, draw your arms back. Stay connected into your upper back, chest. Okay, then finding a little bit of our balance here. Hands lower down, hands on your hips. Straightening your left leg. Good, and then bending back into your left knee. Okay, and if the feet are lined up with each other, it's going to be a little bit harder, right? If you're heel to heel or heel to arch. So the wider you go, the easier it'll be to balance here as you straighten your left leg and bend it. Good, and then from here we'll step forward, Tadasana, mountain pose. Great. From here, tree pose. So again, if you want to use a wall, a chair to help with your balance, go for it. Okay, we'll start with our right leg up. So we'll ground through our left foot. Gently pouring your weight over to the left. Right knee gently moves just ever so slightly to the right, and then placing your foot just anywhere above or below your knee joint. Okay, you can keep your toes on the ground if you'd like. Feel yourself press and lift out of the floor. Try not to sink into your hips. You want to lift up like you're pulling your pants up. Good. Press your legs into one another. And remember, wobbling and shaking, those are all good things. It means you're getting stronger. You're building strength. You're building your stability, your mobility. When you're ready, arms can float up over your head. Lowering your arms down, lowering your legs down, and gently just shaking your legs out. Okay, and we'll pause for a moment before we go into the next side. So just bring your hands together at your heart center. Eyes can stay open or closed. And again, just using this time to slow your breath down. Allow yourself to reconnect back to the floor. Blinking your eyes open, and then we'll move to the other side. So grounding and pouring all of your weight into the right leg. And again, that doesn't mean shifting your hips over like we did in our side stretch, okay? You want to stay lifted as you shift over to the right. Left knee, again, moves gently over to the left, just ever so slightly. And then again, placing your foot just anywhere above or below your knee joint. Lifting up nice and tall, pressing your legs into one another, pressing your hands the same way you're pressing your legs into each other. And then when you're ready, floating your arms up over your head, changing your arm position. Good, lowering your arms down, lowering your legs down, shaking your legs out again. And we'll pause again. Just grounding into our feet, hands at our heart center, and again, just close your eyes. Blinking your eyes open. Great, opening your legs out nice and wide. We'll come into a wide leg wide leg stance here, okay? So try your best to line up with your arms out, to line up your ankles under your wrist, okay? So, you know, really challenge yourself in your practice, in your home, right? No one's watching, so if you fall back or if you need to use a wall because you lose your balance or a chair in front of you, really open up your stance here, okay? So you want to push yourself so you get a nice big stretch through your legs here, okay? And arms out nice and wide. Lift up through your chest. Find length through your side body. Slowly start to fold forward. We're going to pause halfway, okay? So this is your Ardha Uttanasana. You can think about that halfway lift. Hamstrings are engaged. Shift your weight forward. And again, you can always use a little chair or your wall. And then exhaling, fold forward, forward fold. Grab your ankles. Okay, and then lower your hands down underneath your shoulders here. Okay, and if you want to bend one knee, then the other, great. Any adjustments, any shifting? Again, waking up the hamstrings. Ground and root down through your feet. Bring your hands on your hips. Okay, coming up the same way we went down. Okay, so ground down through your feet with a flat back. Roll your shoulders, start to lift up, and go move really slow here. Let your hamstrings kick in. Let your abs do some work here as you come all the way up to standing. Great, turning your heels in, okay? Toes will be slightly turned out, okay? So not directly out to the side, you'll lose your balance that way. So you're at like a 45-degree angle with your toes here, okay? Bend your knees, sit your hips back, hands on top of your quads here, and then just come into a nice little squat, a plie, okay? Whatever resonates with you, and then gently shift back and forth again. Good. Okay, we know what's coming next, okay? Last thing before we come to the ground. Okay, staying in this bent knee position, clasping your thumbs, arms up over your head. Again, you can always take a break by straightening your legs, but we're gonna try our best to stay in this little squat here, okay? And again, remember, hips are not shifting forward, hips are moving back, okay? Knees are in line with your toes, okay? So wherever your toes go, your knees must follow. So make sure your knees are going in the same direction as your toes. That might mean you gotta shift them forward a little bit, that's fine, okay? Clasping your thumbs, arms up over your head. 3 circles, leaning over to the left, okay? Dropping down, see if you can get your fingertips to graze the floor, maybe touch the floor, circling around to the right side, coming on up. Good, second circle. Use your breath. Coming on up through the right side, here's your third circle, take your time, reaching over to the left, grazing the floor with your fingertips or touching the floor if possible, and coming on up. Good, switch the clasp of your thumbs, lift up, switching to the other direction, reaching to the right, circling around, down and around. Try to stay in that low squat. Arms come back up over your head. Second circle, circling around. Use your breath. Last one, third circle. Coming right back up to standing. Lower down, a little bit lower. Come on up. Whew. Take a break, walk your feet in, shake your legs out. Nice work, everybody. Okay, great. We're gonna come into pigeon pose. So again, whatever that means to you transition-wise, you can step back. Vinyasa, you can lower down, tabletop. Okay, not too worried about the transition here. And we'll start with the right leg, okay? Right knee comes to your right wrist, lowering your hips down, and then lowering down onto your forearms, extending out, okay? If this bothers your knee at all, or your hips, you can do the same thing. We'll do the right leg, figure 4 glute stretch, okay? So right ankle over your left knee, interlacing your hands around your left hamstring. Okay? So again, 2 different options, pigeon pose or figure 4 on the right side.
Okay, and we'll hold here for about 1.5 minutes on each side. With each breath that you take, try to find a little bit of release. Okay, maybe find a little bit more length. Let go a little bit more. I always like to practice the mantra, let go, so you can inhale, let, exhale, go. It's a really great place to find that in these hip openers, okay, especially in pigeon. So see if you can soften your shoulders, send your breath into that right glute. Good. Walking your hands under your shoulders, lifting on up. And again, transition however you like. And we'll come into pigeon pose on the left side. Okay, good. Pigeon pose or figure 4 glute stretch. And again, we'll stay here for about 1.5 minutes. I have a timer going, so I'll do my best to make sure we're nice and even on this left side. Okay, so our 1:30 starts now. Walking your hands under your shoulders, coming on up, and then swinging your right leg around. So you lean over to the left. Oop, and if your mat comes with you, just go ahead and push it back. And let's make our way onto our backs. Okay, slowly rolling down nice and slow. Again, see if you can put on the brakes on those little spots that are a little bit harder to hold. And again, you can grab onto the backs of your legs if you need to. Good, and then once you're all the way down, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Okay, let's come into happy baby pose. Grabbing your ankles, the outsides of your feet if you can. You can always grab behind your knees as well and gently just shift from side to side. Okay, great. And then lowering your legs down, we'll make our way into Shavasana. So legs out nice and wide, arms away from your body. Finding again that heaviness into your mat. Letting go here as well in your Shavasana.
Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, awakening your body, circling your wrist and your ankles, shifting your head from side to side. And when you feel ready, arms up over your head, knees into your chest, and rolling onto your side. And pressing your hands down to come on up to a seated position. Bringing your hands together at your heart center. Let's take one final deep breath together. Inhale in through your nose. Big exhale out through your mouth. Bringing your thumbs up to your third eye center. And smiling in honor of your practice. Namaste. Thanks for joining me today for our Wednesday yoga practice. Again, stay healthy, be well, bring peace, be peace, and go in peace the rest of the week. And we'll see you all next week, okay? Miss everybody. Bye.